In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at how you can get a significant discount on anything on the PlayStation Store, barring pre-orders. Cyberpunk 2077 has had a load of gameplay and technical details unveiled, so we'll talk a little bit about that. And we've also got some very interesting news on the upcoming God of War title. More on that in a little bit. First, let's talk about how you can save some money on the PlayStation Store. We talk a lot about deals on this channel, and there is kind of a hidden deal available right now that you guys might not be aware of. If you go to the link in the description box down below, you can scroll down through quests and watch the Aaron Judge Studio tour. Thanks to the guys over at Reddit for pointing this out. And after you do that, you will get a 20% off code off one transaction made at the PlayStation Store. Now, this is valid on everything excluding pre-orders, so yes, you cannot pick up, say, the new God of War or an upcoming title at 20% off, but anything else on the PlayStation Store is fair game. If you want to pick up Monster Hunter World, Dragon Ball FighterZ Kingdom Come Deliverance, well, you can save 20% off that. So outside of that 20% off coupon code, there's also a 20% off code being sent in the weekly update email, so if you're signed up to that, you might have a 20% off coupon code waiting for you in your email inbox, so make sure to give that a look as well. That code ends on March 30th, and this 20% off one transaction for the quest ends on March 31st. So take advantage of that if you're interested. There's a lot of good stuff on the PlayStation Store. Unfortunately, they rolled out these coupons right after the major PlayStation Store sales ended, so that is kind of a bummer, but there's still some great stuff that is available, and you can get a significant discount. 20% is rather reasonable, and if I was you, I would utilize this on newer releases so you can save the most money. Again, a title like Monster Hunter World, if you've been looking at a title like Dissidia Final Fantasy NT or Dragon Ball FighterZ Kingdom Come Deliverance, Ni no Kuni 2 will be released and the code will still be active, so if you want a little bit of a discount on that, wait until that game's released and you can save some money on that. So some good stuff here, always nice to save a little bit of money. Moving on from that, we've got a load of new information on Cyberpunk 2077. Even still, we're not getting any new gameplay. It just seems like CD Projekt Red wants to speak on the game but not show anything off. Now, the rumor is we will be seeing more gameplay at E3 of this year, but that is not confirmed. But let's go over what we know now. During CD Projekt Red's financial presentation, President Adam Kaczynski mentioned that he'd terribly like to say something about Cyberpunk 2077, but he couldn't at that time. He was also asked what CD Projekt Red would be showcasing at E3, and he noted that that'll be announced just before the show. I would assume Cyberpunk 2077 would be one of those games, but let's not worry about that right now. He did mention that it'll be possible to create your character and choose among various classes. He also said that the studio is going to deliver a huge story-driven single-player role-playing game, as it was the case with The Witcher 3. He also said that he didn't want to comment on the possibility of multiplayer. He didn't say it's not gonna happen, but he has mentioned in the past that he wanted future projects to include online components at some point. And finally, kind of an off-the-wall question, but he was asked whether or not the studio is considering a battle royale genre for Cyberpunk 2077, and he explained that at the moment they're considering anything and everything, but as of today they're not discussing the game yet. The only thing they want to talk about is the immense story-driven RPG single-player experience without any microtransactions whatsoever or any hidden payments, just as it was the case for The Witcher 3, even if it was going to be a very different game with no predefined character, a futuristic world, and 3D movement. Finally, for those of you that were hopeful that Cyberpunk 2077 would be hitting the Nintendo Switch, I think the answer to that was pretty obvious, but he answered it nonetheless. And he said that they're focusing on the strongest platforms like high-spec PCs as well as consoles, and as for other games, they're not planning any release on the Switch for now, but they'll see what the future brings. So right now, we know that the game is very advanced technology-wise. It's not going to be on the Nintendo Switch. It's being created with high-end PCs and consoles in mind. Is this even a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One game? We don't know. You would think a PlayStation 5 would be on the horizon sometime in 2020, and if Cyberpunk 2077 is just having more information shed on it now, the release is still probably a ways out, probably around 2020, so this is a game that could very well be a PlayStation 5 title. Maybe it'll be a cross-gen title, but at that point, you're probably handcuffing the game reaching its technical potential. Outside of that, we do know that character creation is going to be in the game now, and we do know that the game is going to have various classes with no Nintendo Switch release on the horizon. Hopefully, we get a bigger in-depth look on the game sometime in the future. Again, I mentioned E3 as a possible location, and that really does make all the sense in the world. And finally, a lot of us are excited for God of War on the PlayStation 4, the soft reboot to the franchise. Kratos is back now in Norse mythology, and we've got another interesting bit of news on the game. The game has been described with a single-shot effect, where the game comes across as a completely immersive experience where there are no loading screens and the game keeps you engaged at all times. They released a video called God of War in a single shot, and it explains how the single shot effect came to be and how difficult it was to actually create it. It shows behind the scenes footage footage with various motion capture actors. So definitely give that a look if you're excited for God of War on the PlayStation 4. A lot of news on God of War on PlayStation 4 has been being released. This is shaping up to be one of the best games of the year. So far, the initial gameplay and those that got to play the game a little bit early and got a taste of it have been saying very positive things about it, and now that we know that the game's a completely immersive experience, void of cuts, errors, or loading screens, that is incredible as well. You didn't really need to sell the PlayStation community anymore on God of War on the PlayStation 4, but nonetheless, here is more exciting news on the title. So that is going to conclude this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Once again, we'll leave a link down below in the description box where you can snag up a 20% off coupon code at the PlayStation Store, and then also make sure to give your email a look as a 20% off code is being sent over there. Cyberpunk 2077 is continuing to get a lot of news on the game being unveiled. Hopefully by E3 we get a bigger in-depth look on the game. Sooner rather than later, that's gotta be coming, and let us know what you think about God of War not having a single loading screen. Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.